Hi, it's me, Ingrid INFP, and I'm at my grandfather's house. And I want to show you this guy. We don't know who he is, but he's been looking at our family dinners for the past 30 years, at least. And he's really creepy. Um, this house is pretty dark, so this is the only place that was next to the window. So I'm sorry if you have to look up this guy's face. I guess I'll just put myself here in front of this guy's face so that you don't need to see him. My parents, my family has left to buy groceries, so I'm alone here. And it feels like such a relief, to be honest. We've been walking in the mountains and that kind of thing. And eating good bread. I read books. I finished reading a book called Adventures in Human Being, which is medical and philosophical and poetry at the same time. It's written by a doctor. And I was also reading Camus' La Chute, well, The Fall. And I've been reading a book about ADHD. So I'm spending a lot of time reading because most of my family is introvert, except for my mom, who is a definite extrovert. We went to see my aunt's brother, so not my uncle, but my aunt's brother, and I haven't seen him since I was 4 years old. So this is a story I wanted to tell, was that he's an artistic guy, okay? I think that he's in the NFP, and I think that my mom's in the NFP too. So them talking together was like a little bit much. Oh, sorry, there's the road next door. It was a bit much. And my dad, who's an ISTJ, and me, they were going to go to the Charlie Chaplin Museum, everybody. And I said I couldn't, I didn't want to go into the museum with my mom, this guy, and my brother. So my dad and we just escaped, and we sat by the Geneva Lake and the Lac Clément, and we sat and ate a sandwich. And it was such a contrast between the extroverts of the family and the introverts, because my dad could see that I was tired, and he was also tired. So that's where I can connect with my ISTJ dad. It's not often we connect on things, but that was pretty funny. Also, a story that this relative told me was, well, first of all, he's seen me when I was like 4 years old. So when I was 4 years old, I would do ballet. I danced, and I did a bee dance, which because I was part of dance group, and we were doing the Garden of Eden, so they had the butterflies and they had different insects, and I was a bee because the smallest dancers were bees. So I was obsessed with this bee dance, and so everybody who knew me at age 4 knew how important the bee dance was for me. Even this guy who has only met me like once, like 25 years ago, something like that. And he said that when my mom and my mom's brother, my uncle, would talk, both of them, I think that my uncle is an ENTP, so both of them talk a lot, extremely much, my mom and my uncle. And he said I would cover my ears, and I go, I want to talk, because my mom and my uncle would be talking all the time, and it's hard to get a word sideways. I just thought it was kind of a funny story because it kind of reflects how my life was at the time at 4 years old. Um, and also the story of my dad and me going to the lake is kind of reflective of our energy levels. Because I there was too much excitement in the air and I just couldn't deal. So I left with my dad and we had a great time. We had a great time doing nothing. Well, my dad had planned this, obviously. As an ISTJ, he planned that we were going to leave and not go to the museum. Anyway, I ended up going into the museum anyway afterwards, and it was great. We had a great time. Those were good times. The rest of this time in this house has been a lot of conflict and a lot of shouting and a lot of problems. And I realized that I'm not going to be talking about my mental health problems with my parents because it's just impossible. It's impossible to, because everything ends up becoming a problem. And so this is a pretty big problem. And if even small things are a source of conflict, I'm just tired. So that was that. Another thing about my energy levels and that kind of thing is that I feel emotions like very deeply. So this conflict situation that's always arising with my grandfather and all that, it really tears me apart. And I feel really tired having to like hide that all day and then like it's coming out, you know. So I've been really critical. I think that it's my tiny ESTJ that comes out when I'm under stress. But it's like a lot of things that my grandfather does, who I think is an INFP, but he might be an INTP, I'm not sure. A lot of things that he does are just like completely illogical and kind of scarily out of touch. And it's like asking another INFP to do things is kind of a stupid idea. My grandfather forgot, like he lost his electric razor cord in the house, and that was a big thing. And then the lamps started not working here, so then that was a big thing. And then the hot water stopped working here, so then that was a big thing. And my grandfather keeps losing his passwords to his computer, even though he has written them down, but he's written them down in so small letters that he can't read. He's has very bad vision. So I told him to just write it out in big letters and put it on his computer. But like, my grandfather is very stubborn, so he won't do that. And there are all sorts of these kinds of things that I get into conflict with my grandfather and everybody else. And I'm tired of being the bad guy, you know? I just want things to run smoothly, but it's not. So it's kind of funny, but also kind of awful to see the ESTJ side come out. Because it makes me really angry, you know, when I'm in that mode. Like, I get angry at everything, and then I realize, well, I'm not a organized, efficient person, so why should I be telling other people what to do? But it just annoys me. Like, so I've told you guys about how difficult it is for me to cut up vegetables because nobody has ever taught me, and I get nervous. Well, we did a chili con carne with my mom, and it's not something that we usually do, cook together. But I was like, how do you do this? You know, I had to ask her, how do you do this? And she was like, well, my mom was kind of frustrated that she raised us this way to not be able to cut an onion, but that's your fault. Okay. No, but so we were going to cut a melon up, a cantaloupe, and my dad said, I don't have the qualifications to cut the melon up. And uh, my grandfather said, how do we cut it up into 5 pieces? You can only cut it up into 4 pieces. And it's like, we're a bunch of intuitive people and autistic people all blended into this family. Like, we can't cut a cantaloupe into 5 pieces. And my mom got really frustrated because, well, for her that was like, you shouldn't have to think about it, you just cut the melon up. Even I can cut a melon up into 5 pieces, which is saying a lot. But I realized, like, wow, we are really dysfunctional people. We are not made for this human and practical world. Because we just can't cut a melon up into 5 pieces without overanalyzing, overthinking it, and getting into a real big fight. So that was the stories for today. I'm kind of tired of this house. I've been here for a week now. We're going to go back to my home, my childhood home, and then I'll be going back to Sweden in the week. So yeah, I've appreciated seeing the other INFP YouTubers do their thing. I don't have much internet in this house, so I basically watch one video at a time, and then I can't comment, like, at that time. I need to think. So yeah, I'll be responding to the videos soon. But yeah, have a great day.